Hello, good morning, everyone. Welcome to A Course in Miracles, Lesson 37. My holiness blesses the world. This idea contains the first glimmerings of your true function in the world, or why you are here. Your purpose is to see the world through your holiness. Thus are you and the world blessed together. No one loses. Nothing is taken away from anyone. Everyone gains through your holy vision. It signifies the end of sacrifice because it offers everyone his full due, and he is entitled to everything because it is his birthright as a son of God. There is no other way in which the idea of sacrifice can be removed from the world's thinking. Any other way of seeing will inevitably demand payment of someone or something. As a result, the perceiver will lose, nor will he have any idea why he is losing. Yet is his wholeness restored to his awareness through your vision. Your holiness blesses him by asking nothing of him. Those who see themselves as whole make no demands. Your holiness is the salvation of the world. It lets you teach the world that it is one with you, not by preaching to it, not by telling it anything, but merely by your quiet recognition that in your holiness, all things blessed are blessed along with you. Today's 4 longer practice periods, each to involve 3 to 5 minutes of practice, begin with the repetition of the idea for today, followed by a minute or so of looking about you as you apply the idea to whatever you see. My holiness blesses this chair. My holiness blesses that window. My holiness blesses this body. Then close your eyes and apply the idea to any person who occurs to you using his name and saying, my holiness blesses you, John. My holiness blesses you, Susie. My holiness blesses you, Joe. You may continue the practice period with your eyes closed. You may open your eyes again and apply the idea for today to your outer world if you so desire. You may alternate between applying the idea to what you see around you and to those who are in your thoughts, or you may use any combination of those two phases of application that you prefer. The practice period should conclude with a repetition of the idea with your eyes closed and another following immediately with your eyes open. The shorter exercises consist of repeating the idea as often as you can. It is particularly helpful to apply it silently to anyone you meet, using his name as you do so. It is essential to use the idea if anyone seems to cause an adverse reaction in you. Offer him the blessing of your holiness immediately, that you may learn to keep it in your own awareness. And that's the end of Lesson 37. My holiness blesses the world. Imagine what you can do if you go through your day and say you spend the day shopping, or even at work and then shopping, and everyone that you pass in your hall at work, everyone who walks by your desk, or everyone who comes and orders as you are working at a fast food restaurant, you can say, my holiness blesses you. If you know their name, use their name. If you don't know their name, just simply say, my holiness blesses you. You could say, my friend. You could say, um, use any term you want lovingly. And then consider, even if you do that with drivers that may begin to aggravate you, or patrons who may begin to aggravate, family members who may begin to aggravate. By doing this, we are choosing love rather than choosing to engage in those fights that just make us so unpleasant, make life so unpleasant all the time. Imagine what the world would be like if everyone knew that they were holy enough that everything that they encountered was blessed because they were there. When we talk to people and we say life is just better because you are here, that's the idea that we're doing in this book. The holiness that we are and the holiness that we experience with others is what blesses the world, and it does make the world a much better place. And so the more that we can choose that rather than choosing the fear, the more peace that the world is going to feel, and the greater and sooner the transformation. Okay, let's see what Tina Spalding channels with Jesus. You are blessed beings indeed. I am that one that you know as Jesus. My holiness blesses the world. This is what you experienced with my last incarnation on this plane. Those who met me, once I awoke and had become an enlightened being, were blessed in my presence. I did not impart a blessing of arrogance as the ego would do, but a frequency that enlightened master teachers hold and emanate because they do not have any blocks preventing the extension of their powerful connection to the source. It is not an individuated energy. It comes from the divine mind through the unobstructed consciousness of the master, the enlightened teacher. It extends to everyone and everything. It is most powerful in its creative abilities and will cause spontaneous miracles to happen. The clarification of the mind becomes so important when you understand whatever comes through you gets magnified by what is in you. Those of you with low frequencies and ego-driven consciousness do not have access to tremendous powers because they become magnified by the ego. You see this often where you have teachers of spiritual material that have not had their egos clarified through a process such as you are going through. They wield sexual power over people. They transmit tremendous energy from source, but they filter it through their ego's blocks. This is something we encourage you to understand. As you go through this clarification process, do not become impatient with a desire for Kundalini awakenings, psychic powers, or the ability to manifest more money. Clarify your mind first so that the power that is your rightful inheritance does not become distorted through these blocks. This is an important warning that is not meant to terrify you, but to encourage your patience and diligence with these exercises so that you do not wield your amazing connection to source power with the ego in control. It is not a pretty sight. Many distortions become laid on people around you if you seek power too quickly. An important gift to give yourself is to clean out the basement and attic of your mind so that the increasing energies your planet experiences at this time have a pristine vehicle through which to function. As you see around you, the stresses on your mind increase as your planet goes through this ascension process. We speak specifically about 2019 when this recording was made. These lessons clarify your mind. When energies peak, you will have a clean vessel in which to house them. Be patient, dear ones. Love yourself enough to do these exercises. Do not berate yourself if you miss one here and there, but correct yourself as quickly as you can and make a determined process to do better in the next exercise. Do not feel you have failed if you missed something or did not perform it perfectly. This is a training program. Just as when you practice a physical training program, you might pull a muscle, miss a day when you're too sick to exercise or become too busy to do your exercise program. That happens. But you must remember that even in the busiest of days, there are moments when you're sitting on the bus, waiting in line at the grocery store, or waiting on hold on the phone, during which you can do your exercise. It does not take much time at all, and no one will know what you were doing except you. You will know because you will begin to feel better. Do this wonderful favor for yourself and know that we are with you, supporting you all along the way of your journey. You will have situations come up in your life when you need to apply these lessons. Do not see them as theoretical things separate from your current life experience, but employ them whenever you get upset. Utilize them whenever you feel fear of the future or resentment of the past. Use them to master your mind so that it does not master you. I am that one that you know as Jesus, and we will see you again tomorrow. And these lessons are encouraged to be used whenever you become aware of them. And so you may be caught up in some drama, and it may dawn on you that you have not done your lessons. And so you could, in the middle even of an argument, just pause and decide that my holiness blesses you, Bob, and see if it does not dissipate that angst and that adrenaline rush that we often feel. When you think about couples who are fighting, because often it is couples or parents with children that are in those heated discussions that come to that place of somebody decides that rather than going through that fear and the blame and attack and defend, they want to be honest. It just sort of comes out of them. And so a parent that is yelling at a child for coming home late, for example, may stop and just all of a sudden blurt out, but I was so afraid that something would happen to you, or I was so afraid I'd never see you again. When we're fighting with our partners, we might say, I'm so afraid of losing you. And when that happens, it sort of just stops the fight energy and helps people to understand that there is love behind everything. That is the holiness that we are. We are love embodied in a physical shell. We are love manifested in physical form. And so, love, being holy, being divine, blesses everything that it sees. The only problem that we have is we misinterpret who we are and what we are. And so, this is giving us an opportunity to redefine and rediscover the truth of who we are. We are speaking in 2021, and we have been dealing with a pandemic for over a year now. It is May of 2021, and so it's been a year and like 3 months. And we talk about the stressors. They were talking about the stressors of 2019. The more that you can choose holiness and love in these stressful situations, the more these situations will not impact you and will not define you. We can go through these with love and relatively unharmed, if you will, if we choose love in all that we do. Your holiness blesses the world. Your holiness blesses these situations. Our holiness collectively will heal the world completely, and we will reach salvation. Practice this as much as you can. Love yourself and know that you are as holy as these books say. Have a great day. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.